Bud, you had this one out, and I think it was good as a follow again because when we're live, we're just jumping right in the wake of Arkansas going out and taking down Tennessee. When you started to take a look at Tennessee and start to project it moving forward, what really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, like, do we have to start reconsidering what Tennessee is, considering they have faced like some pretty bad offenses and then some offenses that are like playing backup quarterbacks in the second halves against them, right? Like Kent State's kid got knocked around pretty good. Arkansas came back on them with a backup quarterback and backup running back as well because the Arkansas kid was out. Both QB and running back. Obviously, McCall got pretty dinged up there. I don't know. Like, I still kind of think Tennessee is pretty good, but I'm a little bit less in on them now than I was a week ago, obviously. And at the same time, like, they didn't hit any deep shots and still led the game 14-3. Like this game, what did the game close? 14?
Mm-hmm.
If you line it again, it's probably what, Tennessee 10
and a half? 10?
Yeah. Like it's not a 7-point adjustment. I don't think. I mean, Arkansas played their butts off. They deserved to win on the field. And I think they exposed some things, with Tennessee. We have to be careful changing teams too much when somebody jumps on somebody with a game plan that they didn't expect, right? Because not every single team is going to have that ability every week. But yeah, I was disappointed in how they played. So I'm just looking at my priors. I'm like, okay, like, should they be that good? Are they really that good? I guess we'll find out.
Second road game in a row. Didn't perform well. Had a bad night. Got a nice little run of 4 straight home games coming up here, starting this week at Florida. So we're getting back to that easy non-con kind of slate level tier of teams. They'll take care of the Gators pretty easily. And then there's that showdown in Knoxville on the 19th against Alabama. I think we'll find out whether this team is still good at that point or not. Where'd Danny go?
Let's see.
Here.
You good?
There we go.
Yes.
Hurricane Milton, which is barreling down at us, is definitely causing some issues. I don't know. Now I'm on my Wi-Fi just went out. I don't know. We're getting a lot of rain, but it's not that bad. But this will be an interesting week for sure. Bud's the one who needs to make sure he's got all supplies in check.
Yeah, I did a little of that this morning. I don't know. I have a hard time getting worried about hurricanes in Orlando, knock on wood, but like
same.
The overnight thing for this, what odds would you put that this Memphis at USF Friday night game gets played?
Not good.
I'd put it at like 0.
Yeah.
At least in Tampa. Like if the current track holds, I would be really hard pressed to see the city of Tampa hosting a college football game 30 hours after this thing hits. Like that's yeah.
Can we stick with Tennessee for just a second?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'm not talking down to a hurricane.
Chip says hurricane. I ain't scared of no damn hurricane.
And I did not say that. So their receivers were getting banged up all throughout this game.
Yeah.
Which had me going like in the moment going through and being like, okay, so what is the receiver depth here? Like, what is the skill player depth? The offense in general, we understand that the way it functions kind of is some of the like single home run and that spreading the field and playing with pace and playing with tempo. And we know that Nico Iamaleava is the talent is absolutely through the roof. Tom, you mentioned this is the second straight road game, and in both performances, we've seen a noticeable drop off in terms of the offensive production. Is Tennessee special from a personnel perspective outside of Dylan Sampson when it comes to the talent around Nico?
I don't think there's a bunch of first, second round receivers around him, but I do think there are good receivers around him. And I do think that the way that scheme works, they typically do a very good job of getting those guys open for explosives. And I think Arkansas deserves, I haven't gone back to rewatch it yet, but I would say Arkansas probably deserves some credit for limiting the explosives with what they were doing defensively. So,
and what they were doing was whipping Tennessee up front. I thought the defensive line did a great job.
Yeah, their offensive line is not, Tennessee's offensive line is not incredible.
No,
that could be the weakness.
Agreed.
That's pretty simple for you, Bud?
I think so. I thought you had to be pretty disappointed that they got the guys back who went down in the Oklahoma game. They got a bye to get right, and they just got whipped kind of in certain spots by what Arkansas has up front. You know,
Do you think? I think Josh Heupel knows more than anybody that he's dealing with a first-year starting quarterback. Considering the way he called the game against Oklahoma on the road, they were up again. I think he probably sees. I mean, obviously sees way more of Nico. I think he understands the risks that are there. I don't know. I think this is normal, but I think you're seeing the growing pains of having a first-year starting quarterback who's uber talented, but he's super young.
Since November 4th, 2022, Josh Heupel is 7-7 in SEC play. That's the Georgia game at the end of that magical 2022 run. So I was like, okay, this might be a team that could use a first or second round pick. You know, this might be a team that could use having just like a real make the defensive coordinator lose sleep over it type of player on the outside, just to help. Like if we are gonna have the conversation about Tennessee, like they're gonna go compete for a national championship. Just a thought, just something that came to mind looking back at it.
I think that's fair.